Good afternoon, everyone. Jonathan Davis here with Davis AutoSports. We are at the final stage of this beautiful one-owner 1998 Cherokee XJ. First and foremost, this Jeep, like all of our XJs, came to us 100% original, all stock, zero modifications. Every single upgrade in service and part and reconditioning has been done here in-house by Davis AutoSports. Many of you guys have been tracking the progress of this build. We are about 95% completed. We are not shooting this on our big camera and Steadicam setup just because it's not a final video. However, this Jeep is up for sale. So if it does sell, we will not be shooting a final video. So this perhaps will be the final video. 91,000 original miles. Like I said, it's a true one-owner Jeep, and this has sort of a hybrid stage 4, stage 5 package with many additional upgrades. Everything on the exterior of this Jeep, including the paint, is brand new, down to the windshield, belt moldings, refinished even the door handles. There's really nothing on the exterior of this Jeep that is original, and we will go over more things in detail here shortly. Do a quick walk around and let you guys get an overall idea of the look of the Jeep. There's a few things that I've been going back and forth on as to perhaps doing Kevlar on the bottom rockers of the Jeep, as well as some side sliders. I think it'll go very nice with it. That of course will add cost to it. So what we're gonna do, and what we've been doing lately, is instead of finishing these Jeeps down to every little detail, leaving a lot of things open to the end buyer that can take it the way it is, add what we suggest, or add what they would like to add. It's been about a 5-month project on this XJ. Ton of work has gone into it. Fit and finish is absolutely beautiful. Please do not solely rely on the content of this video for the full build sheet and breakdown of this XJ. There's no way I'm going to recall every single item that we did. Also want to let you guys know we've been playing with a pinstripe. Obviously we have our exclusive DAS wheels. That's our wheel. We have no pinstripe on this side of the XJ. We have a matching graphite pinstripe on this, which ties in the wheels. So as we're viewing this, it sort of breaks up all the body panel. Then the green, you guys know we always remove the trim, which is a nuisance. So that pinstripe really gives some dimension to the side of the Jeep. So I'll start to go through this 5-6 month build. The entire paint is all brand new, top to bottom. Every single panel, from grille, light bezel, header panel, everything is completely stripped down, 2K primed, base cleared, and then completely wet sanded. There's not one panel on this entire Jeep that has not been painted. On top of that, it's all wet sanded to get a completely smooth finish. Bushwhacker flares all the way around, give you some nice clearance, gives it a nice beautiful look. Like I touched on earlier, we teamed up with ATX to have our very own wheel mounted on a Nitto Trail Grappler tire. We are sponsored by Nitto as well. That's a 285/70/17 Trail Grappler. Suspension wise, full Rubicon Express suspension. Quick disconnect sway bar end links, of course coils. We went with our Fox shocks. Down below, up front, we have a JKS front tie rod bar, upgraded tie rod ends, brand new drag link bar, forged, fully adjustable track bar with drop down bracket, sway bar bushings, Fox steering stabilizer. Up front, we have brand new rotors, drilled and slotted, brand new calipers, brand new pads, back dust plates, ball joints. Everything you see on the front of this Jeep is all brand new. Grade 8, grade 10 hardware throughout. Front differential. Inside there we have 456 ring and pinions, master rebuild kit, synthetic gear oil. You're good to go there. Same thing in the rear, obviously 456 master rebuild kit, so fully geared 456. There's nothing in the front of this Jeep that's not brand new. Even when we service the seals, when we drop the oil pan, that gets sanded down and painted as well. We have a ton of new lines on the Jeep. There's a drilled and slotted rotors, new calipers, new pads. On the back side, we have completely stainless steel brake lines. Fixed lower Rubicon Express control arms, fully adjustable upper control arms to get the angles just right. All new pinion seals throughout. We'll go over more of the underside here shortly. In addition to the all new paint, we have a brand new windshield, brand new seal. Anything black on this XJ, the mirrors, the handles, the belt moldings, the trim pieces around the window, all of that has been removed during the paint process, refinished in black as well. Everything just has a beautiful look. I personally like the pinstripe, ties in, like I said, with the wheels. We didn't go crazy with the Kevlar. Like I touched on earlier, I would like the Kevlar at the bottom. We'll leave that up to the end buyer. We did, however, Kevlar the roof. We have a Defender rack roof. I really like these roofs. They don't mount to the gutter rail, which will bend under torque. They don't mount to the cross members, so very sturdy. A lot of different attachments that you can attach to that as well. You have 4 pods up front for lighting. We figured we have plenty of light on this, so we didn't add anything. We'll be more than happy to do so. Speaking of the lighting on the truck, fully authentic truck light LED headlights, DOT approved. They're not the knockoffs that you see all over eBay. 20-inch Black Series rough country lights. We use a lot of rough country in rigid industry. Obviously the rough country is a little bit more cost effective, but also there's a 3-year warranty, so we really like that. Anything that happens to that light, 3 years, you contact us, we send you another one, no questions asked. Same thing with the 50-inch up there. Just a great warranty on those, so that's one of the reasons we use those. We've never had a problem with those lights ever. As far as the lighting goes on this, our 12-volt specialist spends a lot of time and the attention to detail. So you'll see either private people or some other Jeep builders out there. For example, when they run this light, they're zip tying the wire down here. We actually cut through there and it's completely sealed, so the wire is nice and hidden going through inside the tube as opposed to attached to the outside of the tube. Let me go ahead and pop the hood while we're on the wiring of the lights. So our 12-volt specialist spends a lot of time. Each light is hooked up to its very own circuit, relay and fuse, braided wire loom. This stuff is very expensive compared to the cheap plastic stuff. And every single wire in this Jeep is braided wire loom, ran correctly, nice and clean, nothing looks aftermarket. Every single wires that are connected together are heat shrunk together, soldered. There's no connection butts anywhere. So there's a ton of time that goes into the wiring. Obviously up front, heavy duty front bumper, bull guard, brand new winch, quick disconnect D-rings. As we come around to the back, full tire carrier. Once again, quick disconnect D-rings back there, full size spare. Rear quarter armor plates as well. We spend a lot of time on these too. The way this is actually made, there's a lot of variables with these two plates meeting, between the manufacturer of the bumper not getting it right, the fitment of the XJ itself. So no matter how you mount these, you're always going to get an uneven line here. So we actually machine this and refinish it so it's an absolute perfect line. That way the body lines meet up nice and clean. Takes a lot of time, but the end result is well worth it. If you look at this same setup on other XJs on the market, you'll see different angles and everything. And so little things like that really take a lot of time to do. While we're over here, nice and tight tip, tight in, not sticking out. Takes a lot of time to get that weld in there, get that bit in the pipe, but it's just a super clean fit. Doesn't stick out from the back, doesn't stick out from the side. It's tucked in nice and clean. So super clean install right there. Showed you the complete full brake system in the front. Same thing in the rear, all brand new brakes all the way around. While we're back here in the rear for the suspension, obviously a simple setup with the rear XJ suspension, brand new full leaf springs, U-bolts, adjustable shackles. We do have it, as you see, because of the tire carrier and with the suspension being new, it's a little bit raked in the back. We can adjust it, but over time it will settle, and that way if you have gear in the back or a trailer, it's going to sit nice and even. So that's nice to have those shackles that you can adjust. Once again, G2 aluminum diff covers, 456 gears, master rebuild, all synthetic fluid, Fox shocks in the rear. We have brand new bump stops front and rear. Exhaust wise, we have a brand new high flow catalytic converter, brand new muffler excuse me, over the axle piping and going into the tip that I showed you guys earlier. We touched on the 456 gears front and rear. We also have a slip yoke eliminator, CV drive shaft, all new joints and seals everywhere. Transfer case has been fully serviced, all synthetic gear fluid, so you're all set there. Transmission has been fully serviced as well, filter, gasket, fluid inspected. That's all set to go. When we drop the pan as well, it gets sonic clean, sandblasted, and refinished with a nice coat of paint, so it's nice and clean. There's a shot of the new seal in there, which you'll find throughout. You'll see new sensors everywhere as well. There's going to be so many little small items, sway bar bushings, Pitman drop down, a lot of small items that just don't get mentioned in this video. We also go with a tint laminated windshield. Gives it a slight tint to get that glare away. Just a little extra cost, but really goes a long way. As you see this sun start to hit this paint, absolutely beautiful metallic. You see how flat that paint is. And that's not from just the new paint job. That's from after we paint it, completely wet sanding it down. A lot of people that don't know paint, you could have a $300,000 booth. You can shoot with a $1,000 gun and use $1,000 per gallon clear coat, and you get what's called orange peel still, no matter what. And that's why a lot of show vehicles cost so much, because you do multiple layers of clear coat and then you sand it down so it's a completely flat finish. But then after you sand it, you then have to bring that clear coat back to life with a multiple step polishing technique, wet sanding, and that takes a lot of time. So there's literally probably 4, 5, 6 weeks literally in the body of this, from the condition we got it in to do minor body work, strip it all down, redo the body work again. It's so tedious. And then you go through and you 2K prime it, you block the primer down, you base coat it, you clear it, you wet sand it. It's very tedious. And when we paint here, everything gets removed: mirrors, belt moldings, handles, door locks. There's no tape lines on this vehicle, so it's just so much time that goes into it. Another little thing that I would have missed is this rail gets completely removed as well. It gets sanded down, it gets painted. So just a ton of attention to detail that gets done on these Jeeps. Now keep in mind, this Jeep, like I mentioned throughout the video, it's not 100% completed. Rear tinted lenses on the tail lights. I'm sure there's a bunch of other small little things missed on this, but we'll go ahead and show you guys the interior and engine bay. Right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the servicing and the interior. 91,000 miles on the motor. Of course, before we build a Jeep, to decide whether we're going to keep the motor in it or put one of our DAS engines, we do compression checks, leak down, all that good stuff. Engine was in phenomenal health, so we said, let's completely service this thing. We will give you guys the option for someone buying a Jeep like this with all this work done. I know some of my customers are okay with a 90,000 mile engine that we fully service top to bottom, because they know these things last forever, especially being a 97, 98, 99. But some of my customers are going to want a brand new engine. So we have no problem taking this engine out and putting a brand new engine in there, since everything else is brand new. But I'm telling you, this engine is strong as can be, great compression, everything about it. We would not have built this Jeep to this level with 90,000 miles unless the engine was extremely strong. So brand new cooling system top to bottom. Take a look in there. That is a Mopar Performance double core aluminum radiator. You cannot skimp on the cooling system on these. You can't buy $100 radiators. You got to go top of the line. You got to go high performance. That is a Mopar double core radiator. Besides the Flexolite, that's probably the best way to go. We have a brand new water pump, brand new thermostat, all new plumbing. So cooling system top to bottom's all brand new. AC system top to bottom's all brand new. Brand new compressor, receiver dryer, orifice tube, plumbing, brand new condenser up front, AC evaporator inside the dash, behind the dash in the firewall. If you were to take this AC system and get it done at a Jeep dealership with all those parts, you're going to run anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. Sounds crazy, call them up, get a quote, I promise you, at least. Same thing with the actual cooling system. With a Mopar Performance double core radiator, water pump, thermostat, tons of money. Rear main seal, valve cover, oil pan gasket, all that's been done. All Fel-Pro seals. You guys know these 4.0s leak. It's just a common characteristic of them. All brand new seals throughout the entire engine. That service by itself, you're going to run anywhere from $1,200 to $1,700 at a normal dealership. The entire ignition system, that's all brand new. Obviously, aluminum valve cover. We have a new battery. All the terminals, all the wiring, all that stuff is all brand new as well. So quick recap: top to bottom brand new cooling system, top to bottom brand new AC and heat system, because we did do the heater core as well. All brand new ignition and all that. So all the major components around the engine that really have a big play in it, those are all been upgraded, new seals, everything. We'll get into some more stuff later on or throughout the listing. Interior, very tedious on the interior. Once again, completely stripped the entire interior down. There was nothing left in this interior besides the dash. The headliner came out, the seats, the center console, the carpet, everything. So what we did is we completely dyno-matted the entire floor. So very tedious. If you're not familiar with dyno-mat, I'll put a link up in the video. Everything's been dyno-matted. We have brand new carpet throughout. This is the top of the line. We went through 3 different carpet manufacturers since we've been building these XJs. We started off with the cheapest, didn't work that well, went with a mid-grade, was better. We finally got the best carpet you can possibly get. Has extra thick backing and insulation attached to it, plus our dyno mat. So you have extremely, between this top layer and the floor pan, I mean, you probably have 3/4 of an inch of carpet, backing, insulation, and dyno mat, which quiets the ride, cushions everything, and this is very plush, thick carpet. Carpet throughout the entire Jeep, okay? I hate to show you the back cargo because we still have a bunch of stuff back here, but wheel wells, everything. So all the trim comes out, everything gets done, top to bottom. We have our DAS seats here, and these, once again, I know for you guys that watch all of our videos, this is going to get repetitive, but we have a lot of people that this is the first time viewing our video. We spend a ton of time. These seats are done here in-house. We have a black leather. We have a gray Alcantara suede, which matches the headliner. Dual heated seats, so heat here, both sides, high setting and low setting. Once again, hooked up to its own circuit and relay panel. The biggest thing, in addition to redoing the entire seats, is we actually rebuild the seats themselves. This bolster, as you see how big and thick and fat it is probably about 3 inches above the seat. Years and years of people sliding in the factory seat, this will get flat. You start to feel the springs. These bolsters get wide, and the seats feel like crap. And it's just not an enjoyable experience driving these with a very uncomfortable seat. When you get in this seat, your butt's here, hold your legs in, hold your back in. Very, very, very comfortable seat. So every part of this seat is rebuilt. Takes a ton of time. These seats right here, between everything that we do, we also sand all the brackets. All 4 brackets on each seat get sanded down and refinished. New bolts. This is a week process to do these seats. Very, very tedious, and the end result is well worth it. But the big thing is you really have to sit in these to really feel and appreciate the difference. Seeing it on video is one thing. Yeah, it looks good, looks nice. I see there's a lot of time, but when you actually sit in this, and these actually feel better than the factory seat, because even the factory seats don't have that much bolster. The only thing I can really compare it to is sitting in a sort of, I don't want to say a race seat by any means, but a high-end Recaro Sportster seat. I'm not saying these are Recaro quality, but just the way it hugs you and you feel inside the seat as opposed to just sitting on top of the seat. It's a really nice feeling. So headliner itself is all done. We have the overhead center console that, instead of doing in the Alcantara, we're doing in the black leather to break it up because it's so much Alcantara. So it's going to be a black leather center console, black leather visors, which match the black grills on the brand new speakers that we have in there. Leading to the speakers, brand new 6.5s back there, brand new speakers in the door, a full, let me go ahead and get this cranked up. Well, before I crank it up, brand new alarm, remote start combo, screen, tells you the status of the Jeep, whether you started or not. You can also kill it. Got a flip out screen, navigation, backup camera. While this is running, let you hear this exhaust. Also keep in mind, guys, you know, we're just getting to this stage of this Jeep. It's got a lot of breaking in to do, a lot of adjustments, a lot of this, that, and the other. So full sound system, full alarm system, went over the seats, all new carpet, all new headliner. I like how it takes 3 minutes to discuss what takes 2 months to do. Very, very clean. I will say, I'll let you guys know, we do have a steering wheel cover on this. The top of the factory steering wheel was a little nasty. This is a cheaper route to go. I have no problem it takes probably about 4 or 5 hours to hand stitch new leather on here. We can do that for the end user if you guys want, but if we do that automatically, that gets added to the Jeep, and a lot of people don't want to, the cost can just keep going up if you redo everything to the best possible way. So little $20 cover, it's black, it's leather, feels good, it's not big and bulky and has all the nonsense that all the other ones have, but we will completely restitch a new steering wheel on there. We can do any color stitch, any leather, whatever you guys want to do. So just want to mention that. While we're back here, take a look at these brackets. Once again, completely sanded down, painted, carpet back here. When we do the seats, we put pockets back here as well. Another thing that we do is, as you see, you got these little, I don't know what you want to call them, that hold the seatbelt buckles, little straps, if you will, because these are a nuisance. Every time you lift this up, those can fall down, and you need to hold those up and fold the seat back at the same time. So that keeps that up, which is nice to have. Carpet goes throughout the entire Jeep. New rear shocks for the rear gate. This Jeep will be equipped with black WeatherTech floor mats as well. And also, they're not in yet, but the front doors, if you listen, got the typical hinges that crack. So both front doors will have complete new hinges and pins. So they won't have the traditional popping that these doors make. Same thing here, that will get replaced. So as you guys see, for the most part, with the visors getting done, the overhead center console getting done, and just breaking the whole Jeep in, being that it's got brand new gears and all the stuff, we're obviously going to break it in, put about 500 miles on it. It's just about done. Now, if you want to add something, like I said, we'll be more than happy to do so. As the sun's coming out, just a beautiful metallic in the paint. I personally think Kevlar on the bottom, side sliders, will really just set this Jeep off. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact me directly. Sales@davisautosports.com, jeeps@davisautosports.com. You can also call the office at 855-XJ-JEEPS. Thanks for viewing, guys.